A subject in which you're well versed.
Again, speaking before moving.
Death.
A subject in which you're well versed.
Also notice how little teeth James Bond shows and how much she does. In the animal kingdom, showing teeth accompanied by a smile is a very submissive move. Also covered in the video of Luca Changretta.
It has to do with death.
A subject in which you're well versed.
How would you know that?
Only a certain kind of woman.
Then he leans in. Many people, especially the pickup artist fellas, tell you don't lean in, it is submissive, etc. If you decide to filter the world through submissive and dominance only, you'll miss the bigger points, which in the Laws of Power series I elaborate on to a greater extent. It is also how Billy Kimber got played by Thomas Shelby. Yes, in this context, leaning in can be read as submissive. However, it is a great way to show interest and use it as a form of reward for the topic of choice. In this case, James leans in to emphasize his point. Side note, leaning in isn't always a submissive move. Look at this scene from House of Cards in Law 8.
Apologize to my wife.
You would do something that low, Frank?
Why don't you just get down on your knees where you really belong?
Back off, Frank.
Because the only thing you're gonna get from me is come on your face.
You!
How would you know that?
Only a certain kind of woman wears a backless dress with a Beretta 70 strapped to her thigh.
You see James looking down again, just like he did when he was walking here. When he was walking, he not only checked her out, but observed she had a gun by her ankle. So yes, looking down there may be submissive, as you were told, but in the greater scheme it turned out into a dominant move. You see what I meant before with filtering only dominant and submissive behavior will lead to short-sightedness? It focuses you only on the moment, but it doesn't let you zoom out and plan things strategically. That's the problem with those things, guys. Remember, context, clusters, and congruency. Don't forget that.
Only a certain kind of woman wears a backless dress with a Beretta 70 strapped to her thigh.
One can never be too careful when handsome men in tuxedos carry walkthroughs.
A little pacifying behavior here. Nervous fidgeting. Great response though.
One can never be too careful when handsome men in tuxedos carry walkthroughs.
There is that submissive smile again.
I am correct in assuming you killed Patrice.
Yes.
Note how James Bond uses his drink as some sort of barrier. Usually it is the female forming this barrier.
I am correct in assuming you killed Patrice.
Yes.
Now he looks down. Not the greatest move, but looking down also signifies having a dialogue with yourself or remembering a feeling depending to which side you look. I'll cover this more in depth in another video.
Yes.
Might I ask why?
There it is, clenched fist. This is frustration. You see a clear delta, a before and after the words she said.
Might I ask why?
I want to meet your employer.
Here's a great cluster. 5 things. See if you can spot them.
Be careful what you wish for.
Fast blinking, way higher than a usual blink rate. And this indicates some cognitive overload. Trembling fingers. Smoking as a pacifying behavior straight after what he said. It's a clear delta we can observe. Gasping for air. And the harsh swallow. All signs of nervousness and distress. Great cluster. The fight or flight has kicked in. Swallowing becomes harder, adrenaline in the blood making her fingers tremble, and her muscles need to be oxygenated.
Be careful what you wish for.
You're scared.
Love it. He calls it out straight away. You see, friends, learning to read people is a skill that will serve you in spades.
Thank you for the drink, Mr. Bond.
Very high status move. Let me make myself clear here. Do not grab someone suddenly on the wrist like this, because it might turn into harassment. Only do it when you're absolutely sure, knowing that you guys are teasing each other, pretending to walk away. Also, worth noting, he's not holding her too tightly. She can still go if she'd want to. But somehow, look at her, she seems relieved that he didn't let her go. We'll discover why in a second. She's exposing her neck again. He is totally controlling her now.
You put on a good show. But ever since we sat down, you haven't stopped looking at your bodyguards. The three of them is a bit excessive.
You see a micro expression of anger here.
They're controlling you. They're not protecting you. Tattoo on your wrist is Macau sex trade. You belong to one of the houses. What were you, 12?
Throughout this conversation, he has been observing her carefully, telling her the situation doesn't make sense. Basically telling her that he knows she's the property of the house.
Is Macau sex trade. You belong to one of the houses. What were you, 12? 13? I'm guessing he was your way out. Perhaps you thought you were in love. That was a long time ago.
What is so beautiful here is he is not only seeing her for who she is, and thus breaking down her mask, but at the same time giving her hope.
You know nothing about it.
Sadness leaks through here. She is afraid. Look at her lips trembling for a split second. I'll play it again.
You know nothing about it.
I know when a woman is afraid and pretending not to be.
Great response, calling it like he sees it. Typical red personality behavior.
I know when a woman is afraid and pretending not to be.
No more smiling. Look at that dominant gaze. You know what? Let me introduce the different forms of gazing. These are well explained in the definitive book of body language by Alan and Barbara Pease. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description in case you want to support the channel that way. First, the social gaze. It is a triangular area on the other person's face between the eyes and the mouth. This is the area of the face we look at in a non-threatening environment. The other person will perceive you as non-aggressive. Second, the intimate gaze. This gaze is across the eyes and below the chin to lower parts of the person's body. In close encounters, it is a triangular area between the eyes and the chest, and for distant gazing, is from the eyes to the groin or below. A woman has a wider ranging peripheral vision, which allows her to check out a man's body from head to toe without getting caught. Males have more of a tunnel vision, and that is why a man will move his gaze up and down a woman's body in a very obvious way. By the way, looking down serves different purposes between both sexes. I'll cover that in another video. And the last one is the power gaze. By keeping your gaze directed at this area, you keep the screws firmly on them. Provided your gaze doesn't drop below the level of their eyes, the pressure will stay on them. Never use this in a friendly or romantic encounter, but it works a treat on a person who you want to intimidate, or on the person who simply won't shut up. Friends, bonus one, the power stare. If you have soft, weak or wimpy eyes, start practicing the power stare to give yourself more authority. When you're under attack from someone, try not to blink while maintaining eye contact. When you look the attacker, narrow your eyelids and focus closely on the person. This is what predatory animals do just before they strike their prey. It is very intimidating and evokes an extremely negative limbic response.
How much do you know about fear?
All there is.
James uses a power gaze here and sees straight through her mask. Meaning, I've mastered dealing with it. Showing again, I can be your savior, giving her hope and a way out of that life.
How much do you know about fear?
All there is.
Not like this.
A smile of fear. This is some kind of defense mechanism she developed through the years. She has her mask up to the 3 guards in the back, but leaking her real emotions to James.
Not like him.
I can help you.
I don't think so.
This one-sided eyebrow arch, we've seen it before, but I have to explain it now. People use this signal when they have doubts or uncertainty.
I can help you.
I don't think so.
Let me try.
How?
Bring me to him.
Can you kill him?
Yes.
Will you?
Someone usually dies.
And this is the power of humor. You break people from their emotional state. This, by the way, is a genuine smile. You can distinguish a genuine from a fake smile by the muscles near the eyes.
Will you?
Someone usually dies.
Then, straight afterwards, side tilt again. These are multiple submission signals in a row. Great cluster. Again, the one-sided eyebrow raise.
Perhaps you can.
Putting her fingers on her temple. This serves to aid concentration.
When I leave, they're going to kill you. If you survive,
James looking to the side, then down. Could have done this
if
better.
you survive, I'm on the Chimera. North Harbor. Berth 7. We cast off in an hour.
You see a little cheeky smile of contempt here.
Very nice to have met you, Mr. Bond. Good luck.
Taking up a lot of space here. This is his little declaration of war. What follows after this is definitely worth rewatching the movie for, friends. Alright, which one of these characters would you want to see as the next body language scene breakdown video?
Man we're about to meet is the devil.
Comment A, Oswald Mosley versus the Peaky Boys. Comment B, Don Corleone from The Godfather. Or comment C, Jessica Pearson from Suits.
I knew it was 5149, but I didn't think you would lord your 2% over me like a hammer.
You went behind my back
I am in charge on this side of the ocean.
because I allow it to be that way.
And there it is again. 5149.